If you're in the audience, go say hi to someone, shake someone's hand. Y'all have something in common, get to know each other. Lots of cool stories out there. But without any further ado, Axel Toss, stop rambling. We're into game number 4. It's going to be Jaedong versus Stephano, Zerg versus Zerg on Frost.
Frost, a truly 4-player map. And one of the first things we see, okay, which direction are the Overlords going to go in? Luck be a lady tonight as Jaedong is sending his in the correct path, so maybe we'll see that great game 5. We've already had one of those with that Huck versus Pult series that you alluded to. Is a great one.
Go back and watch that for sure.
Let's do the official thing, I suppose.
Yeah,
introduce these players. Lower left-hand side, the red Zerg from Team Evil Geniuses, the Tyrant himself, Jaedong.
His opponent in the top left-hand location, seemingly the underdog coming into the series, but showing a lot of strength in his supposed worst matchup. Representing Evil Geniuses as well. If he wins this, he advances to the next round and keeps his hope alive. In Lone Star Clash 3, he is Stephano.
And it's been a great ZvZ. It's had a little bit of all of it. You know, we've seen the macro games shift back and forth. We had a 50-minute Swarmos game, which, you know, yes, if you either love Swarmos or hate them, but it was nice to see them so well executed from Stephano. And it was amazing to see them stump and confound such a great player in Jaedong. Jaedong seemed completely inept against it. Everything he tried had its like little moment of, okay, I can see what you're doing here, and then it got shut down hard. So ZvZ seems to be kind of solidifying on the Swarm host stance that it seems to be the best late game answer. But you know, one of the things we talked about on the heels of that game is Jaedong wants to end this quick. We saw him try that, and it ended up being Stephano that deflects it with great defense and then pushes back with a massive advantage and wins. And if that happens again, 3-1, Stephano beats Jaedong.
Wow.
And truly, at that point in time, by the way, there's something weird in Texas and Stephano. Like, at that point in time, your 2-time champion beats Jaedong and ZvZ here. Give me a freaking break. As a retired player, like, something weird.
Not something you see every day, certainly.
No.
And you know, Stephano always finds a way. It's actually ridiculous. I feel like this has happened so many times where he just makes these crazy runs. It's kind of what he's known for. And again, something about Texas that Stephano really thrives. So we'll have to see if he can close out this series, get himself a nice, comfortable 3-1 over Jaedong. But Jaedong is definitely not one to go away. You know, sure, some things have not been too good for him as far as game 2 and game 3, but he's not, again, he's not giving up. We'll have to see what fanciness he can bring out here to try to tie up this series.
Yeah, I have to feel like, you know, the last game was, not to get too far into the mentality of Jaedong, but sure. it was probably a very respectful game where it's like, okay, you made the right calls, and you beat me in a very straight-up game. So, you know, Jaedong always respected him and knew that he was a great player. But that's got to be very scary, because he definitely had game number 2-1, and then it was stolen from his clutches by this play that, again, to read into Jaedong's mentality, probably, you know, something he's, like, pretty frustrated with. But to be frustrated and then also, like, stomped by a wall, that's incredible. So I feel like if Jaedong were ever to be a little bit intimidated in ZvZ, it's almost with the way this best of 5 has gone down so far. But this game is so important, not only because obviously if Jaedong loses, he's out,
right,
but because he needs to prove to himself that he can win this. I mean, Stephano, again, in his interview, is just like, I don't know, I'm retired, man. These guys are full-time. It's kind of funny. Jaedong is like the fullest of times.
Stephano's just laughing about it. He's like, all right, yeah, just playing my game. So that's a great point. Jaedong definitely has got to get some work done here. Tulake's trying to take down a drone. That'd be a nice early pickoff. Going to be scouting the Bailey nest at his opponent's front door, putting a Bailey nest up for himself. And again, guys, this is the game of drones versus lings. How much are you investing in that late game? How much are you investing into any potential early aggression? And for now, we're seeing a equally proportioned production of both Zerglings and drones from both these players.
Yeah, it's the same opening for the most part. And this is the kind of quintessential template for I'm playing safe. I want to see what you're doing, and I'm going to react to it. So we definitely saw neither player really committing, well, that's not true, actually. We saw Jaedong committing to a very big Ling-Baneling attack. It got put down pretty hard. So he's going to scout out of here. He says he sees pre-Banelings, and at 3 number, I don't feel like that's the number that then walks across the map.
No.
and I think he'll be
especially
right.
defensively, because usually...
You see the Roach Warren here as well. So it looks like Stephano might want to try that timing attack that worked out so well earlier, but the Roach Warren gets scouted right here.
There we go, and that's so important. And ZvZ, once again, getting that intel, finding out what your opponent's doing. Again, great overlord positioning here from Jaedong.
Okay. My hunt was, Jaedong immediately goes lair. Like, I'd be very afraid of a Roach Baneling attack, the same one that very easily put Stephano so far behind in, I believe, game number 1.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, one of Jaedong's losses was, actually last game, was due to the fact that his lair was much later. So doesn't want to make that mistake again, wants to make sure his lair is well underway so that he can better transition. But is going to rely on his micro and defender's advantage to deal with any potential attacks while going up to lair, and there is what Jaedong loves.
Yeah, he's going to go for the fast Spire. He sees that there is a third being taken, so he knows at this point in time. I mean, he was already kind of leaning in this direction, but he now knows that it's not going to be a Roach Baneling timing attack. And with what he scouted, he probably infers this is just the very standard Roach, you know, +1 upgrade, that kind of stuff. This is a little bit of a dance in this matchup. We've seen this pairing of build orders before, many a time before. The question's going to be, though, how fast does Stephano pick up on what's happening? Because this is a very fast Spire. This is 2-base Spire, very quick. And if it shows up and there's no spore colors, it's just a queen or two. Right. I mean, it's lights out.
There it is. Yeah, I was going to say his lair was done, and I feel like that should have been an Overseer. So immediately making that into Overseer, going to go scout. Jaedong, right on time, doing the same exact thing. Sees all these links coming out, spotting the drones, but not seeing anything too out of the ordinary. And it's a lot of this is going to come down to that securing of the third base.
Oh, wow.
As we see, wow, a queen getting surrounded here.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy there from Stephano. The queen does get called out, and I like this from Jaedong. We saw this from Stephano a game before, but using his Overseer and Lings paired together to actually fight back the creep. Not the biggest of deals in ZvZ, because they obviously both benefit in... Whoa, two Banelings getting dangerously close. Yeah, well, no, they only get one.
Nice.
Actually,
Stephano.
a bad trade for Jaedong, all things considered.
Stephano did well there.
The Overseer sees the Spire.
Yep.
And so far, yeah, okay, so there's the spore colors. They're a little bit, you want to think they're late, but actually they build so darn fast, you don't want them out right away.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what Stephano wants to do, just in all of these bases, so that the mutas will have sad faces when they arrive.
Yeah. Just going to move that Overseer.
Gonna lose a couple overloads here. But again, the important thing here is securing that third. And he's already got the creep connected over there too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Jaedong's gonna have that map control. We'll have to see how he takes advantage of that.
This is a great place to be. Mutalus in this position are very nice. You never keep going Mutalus, that's very rare. He's already gotten a couple overlords for himself, as well as, I believe, the Overseer as well. And you can see he's obviously not upgrading the flyers. The very typical follow-up, oh, actually, this is a weird move from Stephano. He's gonna go for this third. And there's so many Mutalus out here. He might get the third. It's gonna be very expensive, though. I'm just gonna cut myself off, but yeah, Stephano's making a trade here right now. And if he can get this, that's really nice. But there's a lot of roaches coming out for Jaedong as well.
He's a little bit indecisive. He's gonna try to take down that third base. Jaedong trying to protect that with the mutas overhead, but it looks like, yes, this hatchery is certainly going to fall.
I don't know. It'll be close.
Wow, okay, it's gonna be very close. 140, nope, 120, no, he is gonna save it. Good job there from Jaedong. And now, what looks like something that would be okay for Stephano, if he takes that third, now it's just looking a little bit silly because he lost all those units.
I can confirm, scientifically, that was bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I did the math.
To the direct.
Jaedong is now leaping ahead in roaches. He's only up 5, so it's not like a definitive number. He's up 5 harvesters as well, but that number will continue to go. And seesaw back and forth, but my concern is that these Mulas still exist, so all of a sudden Stephano's adding a lot more queens, a lot of Hydralis. He's really keen in on the Mulas, but look at this. It's only, what is this, 8 Mulas? Look at how anti-air heavy his army is.
He only made it just
Jaedong's just gonna fly out with roaches, and if you don't have anything to support those Hydralis, they become very squishy.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And he's also, he has some insurance. Oh,
oh, geez.
Sorry. So I was gonna say, he's also leaving himself some backup plans here. Oh, he's just going straight for Roach, Sormas, okay.
He's doing it aggressively, and this counterattack, by the way, gets snuffed out as well. Great show.
A part of me thought that he was gonna, just do a mass Roach attack, but he made a few, and behind is going straight into Swarm Host.
Yeah,
so.
I'll tell you what, Axel Toss.
What's up there?
I love both these guys, but we could be down to Stephano and Jaedong. If Jaedong plays super passive with us, and then Stephano does it in kind, I'll walk out on stage, and I'll take both their heads and I'll smash them together. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people I'm not going to try to build up too much. I think what Jaedong's doing right now is actually being aggressive with it. A lot of times you do not go swarm host this fast, but if you do it this fast, you're hoping to get a bunch of them outside of your opponent's base right off the bat and say, hey, use your Hydras and Queens to deal with this because now you're trading real money for my free units, and that's devastatingly powerful.
And I'm not sure Stephano has any idea this is happening.
No, he has no towers. The Mutas have given him such map control.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Such a maze, such wow.
That's a fantastic point. Because the Mutas, you just clear out the map, and then you can do whatever you want, kind of.
It's scary, though. This is not a clear-cut win for Jaedong. Like, he's up in supply, but if he shows up, burrows. Oh, geez.
Dude, our observer is just on top of...
Who is that?
I know, who is that guy?
Sexy man. But here's my concern. This is not so many swarm hosts that they just flat out win the game.
Right.
If their wave of locusts gets circumvented, these Roaches and Hydras will make short work of them. And Jaedong's getting fancy. He's got Roaches everywhere. He's got Mutas here and there. But there's no support for these swarm hosts, so it is a tedious situation right now.
Okay. Stephano definitely knows at this point. Reaction-wise, he's got Infestors on the way, trying to find out exactly where his opponent's coming from, and Jaedong's going to start trying to get those free trades. Locust coming forward, Jaedong reinforcing with nothing but swarm hosts, but taking a very forward...
It's kind of funny. At this point, Jaedong's fighting back the creep, but actually the creep benefits Jaedong right now.
Because the Locusts go faster, yeah.
But he's just kind of on... I mean, that's, I guess, not necessarily completely true, but it could be. Now, here we go. That creep wave...
Getting some
gets
kills
shut down. Roach is looking for something to hit, but there's not much there. Supply-wise, they're about to equal out.
So what do you think Stephano's next plan is here? Is he going to try to just...
Oh, he's just going to max out and really try to put down a wave and then shove into the swarm host.
Yeah. Oh my god. Jaedong, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Okay, he might just retreat the swarm host.
You can see Jaedong's got a guillotine of sorts of a counterattack hanging over his head. So if Stephano moves out as far as he is, which he is doing right now,
oh, I love this.
Queens are off creep, so this is a dedicated attack. Here comes the counterattack, and this is great from Jaedong.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He drew that army back, and now he's attacking from the right with the Roaches, takes to the hatchery. Stephano equally as brilliant, trying to block their tree path, but even more brilliant, there's the burrow. These guys just counting, oh, and a fungal going on the burrow Roaches.
Oh, Jaedong's completely okay with that, though.
Yeah, because guess what? He's advanced at the left side of the map.
Yep.
This is Jaedong in his true form here. Really just trying to attack in as many places as possible. And what a great way to utilize these swarm hosts, I think.
He has a massive bank. Now we got those swarm hosts fighting, and a couple of Infestors do die, as well as the Queens in the back. And every single time these Locusts are dealing real damage like that, Stephano is slowly but surely dying. He's getting closer to the swarm host. He's going to get a few for his efforts.
There it is.
But he taps out.
That's the perfect way to put it, man. Well done.
I forgot that he's... Yeah, it's so funny. It was like he got close to the swarm host, so I was like, wait a second. Is he saying well done as like a form of bad manner? But no, that's how Stephano taps out at games. He knew he was dead, so he said GG. That's his form of GG.
Yeah.
And we're going to that game number 5.